Welcome everyone to the African Doctoral Academy's Masterclass webinar. My name is Natalie Kavelik. I am the Program Manager at the African Doctoral Academy, and I'm joined by my colleague Luther Chippenbera and our guest speaker, Miss Marie Roux from Stellenbosch University, who will be presenting on the topic Microsoft Power BI for data visualization. Ms. Roux started her career at the Library and Information Services at Stellenbosch University 33 years ago at the Interlibrary Loans Divisions. She then went into the area of quality assurance, management information, and marketing for a few years before being appointed as a librarian at the Research Commons. From there, her career grew as manager of the Carnegie Research Commons, also getting involved in the research impact matters. Currently, she manages the Research Impact Services Division and is responsible for the library's data visualization services. Welcome. We'll be opening the floor to questions after the presentation, so please feel free to ask your questions in the chat or Q&A section, or raise your hand. My colleague Luther will be assisting with this afterwards. Just a reminder to everybody that is joining, the session is being recorded and it will also be available on our YouTube channel. So welcome everybody, and I now hand over the platform to Ms. Roux. Welcome.
So, welcome everybody. As Natalie has said in the introduction, is that we're going to look at Microsoft Power BI for data visualization. And I'm going to look at very briefly in this PowerPoint show why we chose to give training on Power BI, then just give a very brief overview of the desktop and the service and also the workflow that's involved there, and some other basic concepts related to Power BI. But the largest part of this class will be a demonstration. So this PowerPoint will just hopefully go quite quickly so that we can jump into the practical details. All right, so the first question here is, why did we choose Power BI to give training on at Stellenbosch University? And there's just a few key reasons here to why we chose to use Power BI over Excel. So in Power BI, it is a preferred tool over Excel for its ability to handle massive and real-time data sets. It can handle millions of rows where Excel is a bit more limited. The second point here is also around the vast amounts of data without any performance issues, whereas Excel can become slow and sluggish with large data sets. A big advantage is the interactive visuals and dashboards that can be created in Power BI. It enables you for deep data exploration through interactive dashboards, cross-filtering and drill-down features, things like that, that go far beyond the static Excel charts that's available in Excel. Then there's also the automated reporting and real-time data. So Power BI can connect to live data sources, which is very, very useful, so that you don't have to create your visualizations over and over again when you update data. I will, of course, explain more about this as we go along. Advanced data transformation is available through the Power Query option in Power BI. So this offers robust and extract, transform and load processes that are more efficient than the manual cleaning that one can do in Excel. I will not go into depth today about this because it is an advanced feature, but I will just quickly show how we upload and use the Power Query. Enhanced security and collaboration. So the collaboration and security options in Power BI is also very valuable. And data modeling is possible. It's possible to build complex relational data models for example, a star schema, and also across multiple and disparate sources. So yeah, these are some of the key reasons why it's important to look at Power BI when you want to work with data and visualization. So now I'm just going to give a quick overview of each all the different aspects of Power BI, because we have different components that works together. And the first is the desktop. So in the desktop, you will be able to download the desktop from the Microsoft Power BI webpage. I've added the link here where you will receive the slides afterwards, and the recording, of course. Yeah, so you can download the desktop to your laptop or computer. You can connect your data by means of Excel or lots of other means in how you can connect your data to Power BI. I will show you when we get there. Then you can transform and clean the data by means of the Power Query option, and to create a data model. Then you will go over to create your visuals in the desktop, and in Power BI they will talk of visuals and not visualizations. So I'm just a bit getting the terms right here as well. And so in this case, then of course you will be able to provide visual representations of the data that you have available. Then you can create reports that are collections of visuals. I will today show you how to create a report. It consists of one or more pages that you build, and it can contain one or more visuals on a page. And then when you have finished your report or your visuals that you are creating, then you can share these reports then with others by using the Power BI service. So you will save your report in the desktop and then publish it to the service. So here you will see a bit more about the service. It is a collection of software services, applications, and connectors that work together to help you create and share. That's the important thing here. That is how you will share your data and consume business insights if you are working in a business. And then it is also sometimes called Power BI Online, because it is the software as a service part of Power BI. Here you can also build dashboards to help you keep a finger on the pulse of things, and you can display tiles which you select from your already created reports. So all of this will come together when we look at it in the demonstrations, but I just wanted to give you some background on how this works. So this slide just explains how the desktop and the service overlaps in the middle, the type of things that you can do in the two versions. In the middle, you can create in both reports and visuals, and the security options and filters and bookmarks, questions and answers, and or visuals you can also use in both of them. But then in the desktop, you connect to your data sources. You can transform and clean your data. You can shape and model, work with all those other options listed there. But in the service, then when we publish to the service, you can work with some data sources, but not all of them. You can create dashboards there. You can work with applications and workspaces. You can have different workspaces you share. You can create data flows, paginated reports, and all those type of things. We cannot go today into all of these, so I will just show you the very basic steps and how to work with it just now. But you can see there is so much that you can do with Power BI. This is just a very quick show of the workflow that we will look at just now. You first will get the data, import the data, create your visuals and reports, then create a dashboard if you would like to, and create applications that you can share with others. We will not look at applications today because that's just a certain way and how you can share with a big group. I know the university statistics is on a with applications which you then can share with larger groups, but in the library we share our data openly, so we don't have to create an application for that. So I'm not going to show you the application part today. Yeah, and then after you've shared it, you can of course analyze and monitor further. And so this is just a quick slide about how your visuals, how you can create visuals in Power BI. The data set is the container of the data that you will upload. I will be demonstrating today only to work with an Excel file, but there's a lot of other options that I will also show you what you can do and where you can get your data from. Then we will, after we've published to the service, we will quickly look at how to create a dashboard. It's a single screen. We just need to take note of when you create a dashboard, it will be a single screen with different tiles. So you have to choose very carefully what you would like to share on this single screen. And it is not, you cannot share all your data there. You will make a specific selection to tell a story or answer a question. Then this is the example of a report. The report has different pages usually, and I will show you exactly how to create a report today. This is just something more about the applications. An app is a way for designers to bundle and share related dashboards, reports, and data sets together. So that is the function of an application. Right, so that is just very quickly the slideshow, and I would like to jump now immediately into the demonstration, otherwise we might run out of time. Oops, let me just close these things. So I'm going to open my desktop now. I have, of course, downloaded it before, so I will just open the desktop and show you how to work from here. So firstly, this page will open. I'm just going to open a blank report, but you can also open previous reports that you've been working with. But in this case, I want to start out with a blank page, a blank report. You can, of course, also get introductions here. Getting started, you can see this first one here. It gives you an introduction to Power BI. When you start out, you are welcome also to look at that. It is all these help functions are available in Power BI. So this is now the canvas, this blank screen that you will get when you open your desktop for the first time. And I'm going to show you all the functions as we go along. I'm not now going to click on all these tabs and things. I think it's easier when we start out and I show you what we can do as we go along. So here, the first step is to get your data. You can click on the Get Data here, this option here. I'm going to zoom in a little. Oh no, if I zoom in, it's only the report itself. I can't zoom in on the screen further. So if you want to zoom in, I think you will be able to do it from your side. But yeah, for now, I'm going to click on Get Data. Now you will see all the options that's available when you want to add data here to Power BI. I'm going to use the Excel workbook, but you can here, there's so many options. You can even click on more, and then you will see a very long list of data connectors that you can use. You can upload with PDFs, text files, JSON files, databases that you can search with specific data that you want to use from specific databases. I'm just going to show you, we at the library, when we have a report for library statistics, and then we use a SharePoint folder or SharePoint site actually, and then you put in the if you want to use that, you have your Excel files in SharePoint in a folder, and then you connect it from here. I'm just going to show you. It will ask you for a URL of that specific site, so I'm not going to do that now, but that is helpful, that you can then enter your data in those Excel files, and as it's updated, your visuals will update, will refresh, and you don't have to redo your visuals over and over again. So that is what we use to connect data from SharePoint to Power BI. So that's a very simplistic with connection, but it works very well for us. But there's of course a lot of other more intricate connectors and connections that you can do. But for now, I'm only going to click on Excel and upload a Excel file that we're going to work with firstly. So the first one is some of our library statistics, this circulation file. It's old data. It's just to show you what one can do. It's our book circulation data. And I'm now going to click on the table that's available here and click on transform data. One can load it immediately, but I want to show you the transform data option, just how it looks in the Power Query editor. And this is where you can clean data and make sure everything's correct. This is an old file, so it warns me that it's a very old file. It may need to be refreshed or updated, but for now I'm just going to close that. And here you can see all the different columns that I'm going to upload, and everything looks fine for now. Nothing looks incorrect, but if you now here have things that you need to correct, you can do it very easily. You can remove columns, you can remove rows, you can, if you right click on a header, for example, you can there's a lot of options of that you can do and make changes, but yeah, I'm not going to do much here now. I just wanted to show you the option. What I now want to do here is to just rename this, because then we know when it's uploaded exactly what we're working with. So I'm just going to call it circulation, and then close and apply. And when you close and apply, then the data will be uploaded. You can see here on the right hand side, the data column is starting to open, and there is my circulation file now with all the different columns associated with it. Now I can start to build the visualization. So that is basically the process here. You will see here in the second from the right are the visualizations column. The data column where you upload your data is right on the right hand side, then the visualizations column. And here you can then choose what you want to do with this data now. You can just start out and click what you want to add to your visualization, and it will start to build the table of that data that you've added. And then you can say, click on one of those that you want to be looking at. But now you will see Power BI will decide for itself where the data goes and what type of visualization it's now creating for you. I want to do something very specific here. So you can see here at the bottom below all the different visualization options here are the x-axis, the y-axis, the legend, and so forth here below. But it has added 2 items to the y-axis by itself. It's just Power BI has its own mind, so it does things like that when you just click. So you now need to go and see what exactly you want to do with this. Not one of these is correct in how I wanted it to be. So under legend, I want to have, I want to have the branch. That should, drag and drop it to legend. Oh, it doesn't want to do that now. Sorry, let me just go from here. Okay, it also doesn't want to do that. Here from there, you can just drag and drop. There's the branch now there. Then under the y-axis, we want circulation. And on the year, I want under the x-axis. So you can drag and drop it like that. And then I want the, let me just see, a clustered column chart and not a stacked column chart as we have here now. I want it rather in clustered format. And so this is now what I was looking for. But as you could see, when I just ticked those options, Power BI decided for himself how to visualize this. So you need to get to know where to put what also to be able to build the visualizations as you want it. But now we can start to customize this as format it and change it with colors and things like that. For working with colors, one can go here to the top navigation and go to view and click on the different color options, all the different themes. But I want the Stellenbosch University theme, so I'm going to browse for themes, and then I have this in a folder in a JSON file already created, and so that you will need to upload then if you want to create your own theme, you have to have a JSON file with that information in it. So as soon as I add that, the visualizations colors will just change according to the university colors immediately. And now we can go to, we have built the visual here. Now we can go to the format tab under visualizations and then in the middle format. And here one kind of format all the different aspects of your graph or visualization. Firstly, I want to go to the title. That's under the general. There's again 2 tabs. You can get a bit lost within all these tabs, but you can see there's a visual tab and a general tab, and there you will do all the different changes. So the title, I just want to correct the title. Circulation of books is the only thing I'm going to call this, and center it. And then you can also change the text color and things like that, make it bold, whatever. I'm just going to keep it as it is for now. And the next thing I want to customize under visual is the legend. It's on. You can see the legend is on. If I put it off, it will just immediately disappear. I'm just switching it on again. And then if you click the drop down, then you will see all the different options again. And I want to do it put it in the center. So you just choose the top center, and you can change the text size, things like that. But I'm going to keep it as it is. It's nice and concise. Right, so now the next thing I want to show you quickly here, we cannot go into too much detail. You can also under visual change on the columns the colors of each branch library that we have in here, but I'm not going to do that. That's just to show you. The other thing which is important if you want to have the data labels, it is switched off at the moment, I think, because it can become a bit cluttered, but I'm going to switch it on. Yeah, now you will see it is quite cluttered, but if you now go to the drop down and again, you can make changes here. So I'm just going to change it to vertical, then you can see immediately it looks a little bit better. But yeah, it is a bit cluttered, so I will also rather switch it off for now because there is the guidance on the y-axis, so it's not really important to have it on. All right, so I think the next thing I just would like to show you, which is also quite valuable here, is you can see this big outlier for our main library. The other branches are quite much smaller. So you can see the SU library, the main library, is quite a big outlier. So to help with that, there's a zoom slider. So I'm going to switch that on. It will immediately switch both sides on of the zoom slider. I only want it for the y-axis and not the x-axis. And then you can use this to zoom into your other details more in with the other branches details more in depth. So this is just a useful tool to insert if you have those type of visuals that you want to zoom in a bit deeper, etc. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is that one can also add a navigation on each page for easy navigation. We're going to build a few pages, so that's quite important to have. That's under Insert, and then under Buttons, right at the bottom, there's a navigator. And then you click Page Navigator, and it's immediately in your on your screen. So I'm just going to center it, and also now you can format it here in the middle, this middle column. And I think the shape, I'm just going to make it a pill format, pill shape. You can see there's quite a lot of shapes that you can use for this. Let's just keep it at the rectangle for now. And then if you add new pages here at the bottom, you can also do it here at the top under Insert, New Page. There you can see page 2 has now is created, so immediately page 2 is also added to the navigator. So this might be helpful if you need it. Then we can also name the pages. I'm going to call the first one Circulation, and the second one, I'm going to upload another file about oops, sorry. You can see you can order the pages just by dragging it around. Open Access will be the second page. So now the easiest way to get this navigator to the other pages, you can go to Insert and add it again, but then you have to format it again. So the easiest way is just to stand on it at the top and click and use your Control-C button. There's no other way to do that. If you right click on it, there's no options or so. But if you use your Control-C button and just paste it on the second page, it appears automatically in the same format as you have created it already. So that's the easiest way to add to the different pages your navigator. Then on this page, I want to stand still on some other important issues that we can add here. I want to show you the cards. If you click on card, a blank box will open, and I would like to have a total of all circulation numbers in here. Then you can add it like this as a card. make it a bit smaller. This is quite helpful to have at the end when you build a dashboard. It's very nice to have these summaries of numbers and things in your dashboard. So that is also why I want to create this. You can also format this under format your visual, and I'm just going to go to call out here and go to value and just make this a bit bigger so that your text is bigger there. Then it stands out a bit more. You can also give it a border maybe, and that will be under format general, effects, and visual border on. Then the color of the border, just make it a bit gray. So there's your card now. So in this way, when you have a number sign next to your data, you should be able to create this type of cards with any other type of data as well. But it's quite nice for with adding sums of numbers to these type of cards. Right, then the other thing that I'm just very quickly going to show here is to add a slicer. I don't work so much with filters, so I'm going to close this filter screen there to make more space here and add a slicer. So a slicer, you can also add with those items that you would like to filter on the specific page. I'm going to click on branch here. And then you can also go to format the slicer settings. And I would like to do a drop down and make this smaller so that it doesn't take too much space. And then you can add a background under effects, a background color, something like that. And then you can choose which data. You can choose one library or two. If you control click, then you can choose more than one at a stage. And clear selections, you just use that button and it goes back to all branches. So that's the type of thing that you can add to your screen to make it easy for others to navigate to the exact data that you would like to show. Would like to come up on your screen. You can also do it with year or whatever. In this case, I'm only going to keep it with branch. Right, so let's quickly do a second page, just that we just have a little bit more data here. So I'm going to go back to home at the top and add another Excel sheet. This will be the transformative open access data that I'm going to add here. It's also library statistics of our open access agreements. It's also just old data that I'm using as an example. And here everything's also fine. I don't have to make any changes. All the columns look correct, etc. I'm just going to click on close and apply. And then we will, didn't click through. Let me just try again. There we are. Now you can see the open access data has also been uploaded with all the columns associated to it. And that's quite, I'm just going to do two visualization very quickly. These will go quicker. Oh, just something I forgot here under this bar, this column, clustered column chart. One can also add, if you go here to this sign here, add further analysis to your visual. So here you can add the trend line, you can add an average line, click add, those type of things you can add to your visual, but only with each type of visualization these options will differ. So in this type of chart you will be able to add these options, but for with the different types will not have the same options every time. That's just something that could be also valuable to add to your charts. Okay, so here we have open access now. I'm just going to have a look at the publisher information here. So I'm going to click publisher and then make a tree map of the publisher data, but it needs more information now. So I'm also going to take the same option to values, then it will take the values of the different publisher information to the chart. So in this case, I want to work quite a lot with the colors. It's not, I'm not so happy with the colors that it automatically gave here. So under format your visual, one can go to colors, and Elsevier I would rather make maroon, and these pink ones I'm going to get rid of. So this is how you can then customize exactly what you want to do with the colors. And in this case, we also need the data labels. There you will see if I click data labels, the number will also appear on the tree map. So this is now the number of articles published open access by publisher. So I'm just going to go to general and title to make this a proper title. Articles by publisher, and center it. So that's the only changes I would like to make here. I'm now quite happy with this visualization. You can see there's a few small ones here that don't, it's too small to really show the names of the publishers. But if you hover, that's what makes the Power BI so nice, is when you hover on an item, you see more information. So there you will see all the numbers when you hover, etc. So just one quick thing I want to show here for you still is to insert more visuals than that is available here on your Power BI desktop. You can go to these three dots here. It says get more visuals, or you can go to insert home, more visuals. There is the option. So if you click on more visuals from app source, it goes to a database of a lot of different visualizations, but most of them are paid for options. That's not associated with Power BI itself or Microsoft necessarily. So it's external applications which you might need to pay for. So just be careful. I want to look at a word cloud, but I'm looking for the Microsoft options, which I know will be free because it works together with Microsoft Power BI. So in this case, I want to add that word cloud from Microsoft, and then you will see it says pricing, it's free. Always when you have a look at these external options, go to the pricing here and make sure if there's a pricing fee or not. And then you can add it. And now after it's been added, there's a very small W there. Now that option is also available for me to use. So I'm going to click on that, and it opens immediately a blank canvas. Let me just have a look like that. And what I want to add here is the journal type. I'm just going to do it like that. Now you can see immediately it starts to create a word cloud for you. We need to also go to values. Otherwise, the same option you just add to values as well. Let me just see. And then we can go to format. You can add stop words. You see this is now not a very good example for a word cloud because it's very just a few words, but you can add stop words for when you have lots of words to look at, those type of things. All right, but I'm not going to go into more detail here. I just wanted to show you that we can add other visuals that's available here too. And that's the way in how you will do that. I can't now go into more detail here. Just quickly want to see, just want to copy this again. Oh, sorry, it is still here. Just want to take it to the middle. Then just a very quick one other visual that I would like to show you. Unfortunately, I have to quickly upload another file. I also do bibliometric visualizations and reports for researchers, and this is an example of an affiliation world map that one can build with your affiliations that you co-author with as a researcher. I'm just going to call it that and close and apply. So you will see here is a globe. It's one of the visuals that's available. And we just go there. It's very, I'm just going to click affiliation, number of publications, and then click on the map. And it will immediately start to build the map for you. You can see now we need to customize it further because it has added automatically a legend, which we don't want here. So I'm going to go to format. Oh, and first upgrade this map. For some or other reason, they are busy going over to a new version of this function. And it works very well, so I would like to add that version. But now to go back to the build visual part, I just want to add affiliation to the location. Here you will see now it adds all those locations to the map, but we also want the size of each affiliation. The bubble should change if you take the number of publications. There you will see now the bigger size bubbles will have a few publications next to the ones that only have one. That's the smaller bubble. And here at Cape Town and Stellenbosch will be the larger bubbles. Now you can format this map also very nicely. There's lots of options to format it. Firstly, under map settings, you can do different types of how it looks. The satellite version looks like this. The grayscale dark, grayscale light. Lots of options. I'm just going to go for the grayscale light quickly now. Then the other thing I want to show you, the auto zoom is nice because it zooms in and out automatically to the places that's available on the map. Also, where is that now? Thing that's very important to use. If you don't want it to be very cluttered, you can go to cluster markets. So it creates then clusters. You will see now it's only has the clusters for Southern Africa. So you have to then click further to see more the specific data points, but this is quite a nice option to use like that if you don't want all those little dots on the map. You will see here in Europe is quite a few clusters also. All right, so I'm going to keep it as it is for now. And then you must zoom in and out as you want to. I'm not going to customize further because we need to look at the other details that I need to show you. just quickly want to change this so that it's just look a bit better. Rename this last one. I will just call world map. You will see it zoom in and out as soon as we make changes here. World map. Okay, so yeah, so I'm going to stop just here with the desktop now. Just one thing before we go over to the service aspect of Power BI. I want to show you that you can, of course, now save your, I'm just going to click save and give the name, the file a name. Just wait for that. Right, and then the other option under file is that you can export to PDF from here. This is the only way from the desktop to export something. You can't really print something from here, but you can export a PDF from the desktop. And it's quite a good, I will just show you the quality. It's quite okay quality, I think. Here you will see the different pages that we've built, and it doesn't look too bad in quality if you want a PDF from what you have done here. But the further sharing and options are then available when you publish to the service. So I'm just going to publish this, what we have, publish to Power BI, and just to my workspace. That's where I work with all my examples. And then it gives you the link directly to that specific, this specific report in the service. So here we are. So now we're in the service, Power BI service, and the same report is now visible exactly as it was in the desktop that we had here. The 3 pages and the world map. Right, so everything looks the same. I'm just not very happy with this navigator at the top. It doesn't look good, but it doesn't matter for now. It's only for illustrative purposes. So now you have a few options to share here. You can share this report now with people in your, whoever you would like to share it with. You can also just copy the link then and share it to them. You can export. You can also edit. If you now want to see something is not correct, you can also go to edit here. Then you will get exactly the same screen as in the desktop. But I'm not going to do that now. I just want to show you all the export options. You can go to PowerPoint. This is a very important option. You can embed the live data into PowerPoint. So this is very helpful for students and researchers, I think, who needs to present their data. If they have created their Power BI report and they embed the live data here. Let me just show you. You unfortunately have to download each page, then export each page separately. It doesn't do the whole report at once. It does it page by page, but you will see now when it opens, it will contain the live data where you can also hover and see more information, the interactive data. So that is very helpful. You don't have to go to the web page. You can embed it live in your PowerPoint. This is the only tool that I've seen it that can do this. I'm sometimes work with Tableau. Tableau can export to PowerPoint, but not the live data. So here you can see when I hover on something, you see the more data that you are looking for. And you can click your branches. All those interactiveness goes in the PowerPoint while you present it. So if I now open this to present, you will see the interactive. Oh, let me just click there. Right. So this is very helpful, I think, for presentations when you need to present your data. You just need to come out of this now. Sorry, I don't know why I have issues now with in show. There we are. Right. Let's go back to this web page. Then the other option is to just export a PDF as the same as I've shown you in the desktop. You can also export the PDF. Analyze in Excel will take the data back to Excel. So in this case, we're not doing that now. Then under File, you can also embed the report into a website or SharePoint online, or you can publish to the web to a public web page. This we sometimes do with our library report. We publish it to a public web page. We don't. It's no. With the data can be openly accessible to anyone who would like to see it. So we publish it to the web, and then it will always just remind you that this will now be publicly available. So you need to we take that into account, that it's not data that's sensitive or that you don't want to share. And if you copy that URL, you also have the iframe data there. Then you can copy it in a web page, and you will be able to open these pages on a web page with a web URL. Right, so this is also, you can see it's just a bit slow, and this is very helpful to have like this. Here you can also change the sizes and etc. It's lots of settings there that you can use. Under File, you can also generate a QR code if you want to put it on a print poster or something like that, for people to click through to your report, and then you can even export this to a developer playground as well, but of course we're not going to look at that now. All right, so now just in 5 minutes, I quickly just want to show you how you will then create a dashboard, which is a one-pager of data. So what you will do, I think I have not shown this for you in the desktop as well. I just want to quickly go back to the desktop. With each visual that you create, you have these signs next to it. So if you want to click there, you go to focus mode, and then it opens up in the big screen. You can also go to more options and remove and sort the legend, things like that. But in the service, you have more options here. It's not now so nice visible because of the navigation at the top. Sorry about that. But here you will see the pin visual option. Pin visual is where you will go when you want to add a visual to a dashboard. So I'm going to click this now because I want to add that to a dashboard, and I'm going to say new dashboard and say ADA 25 February and pin. And I want to take this one as well. I'm just going to close that for now. Also pin this one. You can also copy as image with caption. This is how you will copy images of the different visuals. So I'm just quickly going to do that so that you can also see how that works. Copy. So this is how it will look. You copy and open a Word document, for example, and this is how you will then copy the image just like that, say, for example. Then let's just continue with pin visuals for the dashboard. ADA, pin. Now I'm just going to go to the two other pages to grab more visuals for the dashboard. ADA and the world map. It's just quickly for the example. Pin visual also to the ADA. Right, so now we can go to the dashboard. So here are those visuals that I've pinned to this specific dashboard. You will see, not sure why the world map isn't showing up. I think it's maybe too small. I'm not sure why that is now the case, but in any case, the other visuals are now fine. Let's just make this a bit smaller and see. You can now drag your visuals around. Just want to see if it changes when I... No, the world map doesn't want to work, it seems. But let's delete that tile just and work with the three others we have, because we don't have time. Oh, sorry, now I clicked on the... I'm just going to go back to the... Let's make this one bigger again. All right, so this doesn't look very good now. We need to further customize it in order to build a nice looking dashboard. Oh, sorry. Nice looking dashboard. You see the things. You must be very careful how you drag it. Otherwise it might look funny. I'm just going to try to... But this tree map actually looks fine at the bottom like that. But this is now a one-pager. You can see this is only a one-pager that you can create. It will be connected to your report where you do updates and whatever. If you have a connector in that will do automatic updates, it will also go through to the dashboard. You can edit this. I'm just going to quickly say dashboard theme, and here we can go to the dark one, then we have a dark background, for example. When you click on edit and say add a tile, one can add web content, images, text boxes, things like that too. So let's just maybe quickly I'm just going to say test. There you see now we have a text box that we can add text, which we haven't done now yet, but it's also a possibility to add external items to your dashboard. And then the way in how you will share this is just to share with specific people. You can see here, you can enter the names of those that you want to share it with, or you can print this page. The print option doesn't work very well for me. I've tried it a few times. It's not really looking great most of the time, so you can play around with that, but it's actually online sharing that you will do with your dashboard. It's not really something you will present in print or PowerPoint or something like that. So that for those purposes you will use the report rather. All right, so I think it's now 2 o'clock and I should stop here. I hope this was just a very quick overview to show you what one can do in the process of how you will create your visuals, your reports, and then go over to the service and share it. There is lots more available in PowerPoint, in Power BI. You can imagine it's really unlimited options available. But this is just the introduction for you to get going. All right, shall we go over to questions? Question time.
Thank you so much, Marie. big pleasure to have everybody to join us today, and a very big thank you to you for presenting so clearly for everybody to follow. Yes, so we will hand over the platform now for questions. My colleague Luther will be handling the questions. So there was one or two in the chat, but please, colleagues, feel free to add it to the Q&A as well, and we'll try and take the questions from there. And then also you're welcome to raise your hand.
Okay, thank you very much, Natalie. So like Natalie said, we do have a couple of questions, but feel free to type them out in the Q&A or the chat, and I will get to them. So we have this question from Siabonga, who asks, can I create the visuals for transcripts in PDF using this tool? Transcripts that mainly contain written text.
Yeah, I haven't worked myself with scripts but there are options in the desktop to, when you go to get data, to look at text and CSV files. So that type of thing should be available, yes. But for myself, I haven't worked with that before, but definitely the option should be there.
Okay, thank you very much for that. We also have another question from Gabriella, who asks, are you able to merge each exported slide into PowerPoint? And then will this still publish the live data for each slide?
Yes. Unfortunately, per slide, per page, you will need to download to PowerPoint. But I usually just merge them very easily. I do usually 2 pages for 2 slides for a bibliometric report, and it merges very nicely. You just copy and paste it to your one slideshow that you would like to create.
Okay, thank you for that. We have a question that just came in from Alfred, who asks, do you know of any certifications with regards to this software, and what you recommend with regards to certifications now?
I'm not quite sure. You mean subscriptions or access to the tool with, if you talk about certifications, or do you mean training certification? Sorry. I assume it's around training certification. They would definitely be, yeah. Thanks, Alfred, for clarifying. Yeah, I'm not sure about the exact options, but they are definitely, they will be available. I have on my slides that I didn't show you, there's just some learning resources. Maybe I can just quickly share my screen again to show you that slide, but which you can also receive afterwards. So in Microsoft, of course, there's the learning pages. I've got the links here. Then there's in DataCamp and in Coursera some examples where you can do training, where I'm sure there will be also certificates available. And these are just very general introductory ones that I've sourced, but they will be more in depth, more advanced ones as well.
Okay, thank you very much for that response. We have another question that just came in from Philistus, who's asking, what is the function of transform data? Why did you not just load the data?
In my case, I just wanted to show you the option that you can transform. Usually, if you know there's nothing that you would like to transform, you will just load it immediately. But I just wanted to show you there is the option to transform. I think I've got into the habit of always clicking on transform to make sure my columns looks correctly and that they do have headings, things like that. So I'm in that habit. But if you know your data is perfectly as it should be, then it's not necessary to go to transform. You can just upload directly.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Maybe a question from my side whilst we wait for the other people to type something out. I just wanted to quickly find out if the data changes regularly. Does the report update automatically or does it need to be republished? And how
Yeah.
easy is it to update or make changes later on?
Let me maybe just quickly share again that I can just go to, if I go to the desktop, if I've now made change, say for example, like we do at the library, we have our Excel spreadsheets in a SharePoint site where we made the changes. After we've made those changes, we have to click here in the desktop. That was a very good question. Thank you. You have to click the refresh button. Otherwise, it won't update the visual according to that data. In this case today, this data hasn't been connected from any other place. It was just uploaded. So if I now, in this case, want to make changes, I will need to update a new sheet, a new spreadsheet, because it hasn't been connected to a SharePoint site or something else. But when you have connected it like that, then you need also to just click refresh here, and the data or the schema, in this case, it will be, you can see there it's now refreshing, but in our case there won't be any changes, but that will be needed. In a case like this, of course, if you have connected your data to a SharePoint site, for example, then you don't, the advantage is that you don't have to redo your visuals as soon as you make with updates. I'm not sure if
Okay.
I've answered that very well, but
Perfect. Yeah, thank you
thank
for
you.
showing me that and demonstrating. Okay, we
Yes.
have another question here where it's being asked, is the source data stored or duplicated in Power BI? What would happen if the source file is accidentally moved, deleted, or altered?
Mm. Yeah, yeah, that is something you will need to take care of if it's stored. But in this case, again, because it was just imported as an Excel file, there's no, it is stored in Power BI connected to this specific report. So it can't really go wrong in that sense. But if you, again, the example of SharePoint, if something goes wrong on that SharePoint site or someone else go and change the folders, I have had those type of, if you just rename that file in a SharePoint folder, for example, it will not be connected anymore. So one need to be very careful when you work in a site like that and connect your data. You can't just make any changes to file names and things like that. That's just an example. But yeah, you will need to be careful and make sure your data stays as it is in that connecting database.
Okay, thank you for that. I see no questions, so maybe an opportunity for me to ask another one.
I'm
I just
glad you
wanted
have
to
so
find
many questions.
so
Yes.
in practice, right? In practice, just based on your experience, using the tool, do people usually finalize everything in desktop before publishing, or do adjustments still happen in the service?
Yeah. Adjustments, I usually, when I, for example, do the bibliometric reports for researchers, sometimes for some or other reason the colors changes when I hit publish to the service, and then I have to go and edit there further and just adjust the colors again. I don't know why that happens. It's also just sometimes, it's not all the time. So it is easy to change in the service. It looks exactly the same as in the desktop, but I think it's not easy to create from there. You will always start out in the desktop, but if you need to make changes here and there, it's a possibility. But For myself, I can only talk for myself now at this stage, is I prefer to create everything as far as possible in the desktop. In this service, maybe I can just go there quickly and share again. Let me just share my screen again. If you go now to edit, here is where you will go to edit. You will see here everything looks exactly the same as in the desktop. Here are your visualizations, your data, your everything works exactly the same. So yeah, it's very doable. It's just here some of the options that you have available on the so for example, your ribbons here at the top are not as in depth. You can see now all the options you have here. Those are not all here in the service. That's what I found. So, but you can do basic. The formatting looks exactly the same, those type of things. But it's the top ribbons that's maybe not everything available. If that answers your question.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you. And then are there any limitations in Power BI that maybe I should be aware of when working with, say, large and complex data sets that you think maybe you should flag?
Limitations. I haven't worked with very large data before, but I think as we have seen in the beginning, Power BI is one of the tools that can really work with quite big data. So it should be all fine. But I don't have that experience to really answer the question.
Okay, thank you. Oh, I see we have a couple
Mm,
of questions coming in. They're coming in. We have one where it's being asked, if I have two or more visualizations on the same report page,
mhm,
and each visualization is built from a different query, and
mm.
each query or table has its own separate year column, how can I use one shared slicer to filter all the visuals
Oof, yeah.
by year?
No, that will be difficult. I try to not build more visuals on one page from different. You can, but if you want to use those type of slicers, it will not be very easy. It won't be mergeable from different queries, as far as I know. That will be difficult to do. So I see when you read about Power BI, they also recommend that you actually work with only one query in a report, but we do use more than one, and it works fine. But for one page and slicers like that, it's better to use with only one query per page. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you. I see someone has actually responded to that
Mm,
question in the comments.
okay.
Signadiwe, this person saying, look at the relationship section of the data structures.
Mm,
So maybe that's
mm.
something to look
We haven't
into.
looked at that today. Yeah, that's very important. But thank you for that answer. When you go to, let me just quickly show where that is. But say, for example, yeah, sorry, I haven't looked at that. That's where the model and the model will come into play, and also if you click on a query, there's manage relationships. That is where you will do those type of things. Thank you for that. It's a bit more advanced to look at those things.
Okay, and then another
Mm.
question, is the SU theme you used in Power BI available to everyone, or is that more available for staff?
That theme could be available to everyone. It's I actually can't remember where I found that JSON file for the SU theme, but if you want me to share that with you guys, or you're very welcome. I can also forward it to you so that you share it with the others. That specific JSON file. It's
Okay, yeah,
But
perfect.
I don't mind to do that.
Yeah. Okay, no problem at all. And I'm just coming back. I'm not sure if it's a comment or a comment referring to Singlediwe's earlier question or a separate question where he's saying there are R Python visual options in the visualization list. Do you require R or Python to be installed on your machine to use these options, or are they standalone?
I assume it would be, I haven't worked with it, so I can't really answer that. But I assume because of the integration, you will need to, I don't think it's needed to be installed because you can just, if you have a file, I see there is an answer again on that question.
Yes.
That might be helpful. There's not too many for me to read, but
It does say R or Python linked to your machine.
to your machine. Okay, so it
Yeah.
needs to be linked. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah,
Okay.
I
On my
haven't done that yet.
Okay, thank you very much for that. On my side, I'm not seeing any questions. Natalie, over to you.
Thanks so much, Lisa. I appreciate that. So Marie, again, a very, very big thank you from the African Doctoral Academy side to be saying yes to being our presenter today. So I think it was very, very helpful for the colleagues just to visualize their data that they're using, whether they're staff or whether they're researchers or doctoral students, just to have a better idea on how you can present it. So from our side, a very big thank you to you, and then also to all the people that have joined, a very big thank you to you for joining us today, and also to my colleagues. So with that, I'm going to say I hope everybody has a lovely afternoon, and we look forward to seeing you again in the future. So thank you, and thanks again, Marie. Appreciate it.